everybody. Welcome to the lounge, the Her Lounge, child. Woo! Welcome. We so happy to have y'all up in here today in the lounge. And listen, we're about to have a real live discussion that we all have some input on. You know, we consider ourselves, I would say we're successful women.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Yes.
We're successful women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, Queese is married, Pauletta's single, Juna's
still.
single, I'm single again. Woo, I don't know about that back on the prowl, but I'm single again. And we're gonna talk about successful women dating successful women dating. And I know that so many of you all can identify with this dating, you know, and we all are dating from different perspectives. Like I'm dating again.
Yeah.
Not yet. But I'm dating again.
Right.
Juna, are you dating?
I'm still dating.
When I say still single in the city.
Still.
Married and still dating.
Hot tech cool. Okay.
Hallelujah.
One person.
But you know, this is the thing. Because our topic is successful, like I think it's so important, Juna, that we define it. Because success can mean so many different things to so many different people. So when you think of a successful woman, well, I consider you successful.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
He's successful.
What does that mean? What does a successful woman contain? Define that for us.
For me, I would say success is going to be based on what my goals and my objectives are. Have I accomplished them? Where am I in that process? And I think being that this is the age of the internet, obviously, social media kind of contributes to our perception as far as what we consider to be successful versus non-successful. And sometimes the perspective of success is a little bit too high. You know, like everything is not. Everybody ain't famous. Everybody ain't rich. Everybody's not wealthy. Wow. But that doesn't mean that you're not successful in your own right.
That's
So to me, you have to look at what you have set as far as your goals and your objectives are, but also, do you know who you are?
Wow.
Are you clear about your standards and what your expectations are? And so knowing that and owning that, being able to do that without anybody's fear of anybody else's opinion, and just, you know, doing you and being okay with that. So
I don't think people ever, that was so good, Juna. I don't think people ever see success like an ingredient of success as knowing who you are.
Right.
So that was huge what you said.
Absolutely.
Because I could be hitting all these goals, accomplishing all these things, and still be in an identity crisis.
Right.
How about that?
So what you're telling me is true success is not just hitting my goals, not just getting those things done I want to get done, but success means I really do know who I am.
Absolutely. And I own it. And there ain't nobody to try.
Well, I know that, I don't really know what the numbers are, Quiz, but I know that it's so many more men to women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's so many more men to women. So some people began to get into, is it polyamory? Or however you pronounce it, the poly relationship where, you know, a couple of people sharing somebody. I ain't gonna be able to do that.
I ain't gonna be able to do that.
I ain't gonna be able to do that.
I ain't gonna be able to myself.
Yeah. But give us some data on that, because I mean, it's really
it really is.
something.
It has changed so much. When we started talking about this, I'm like, let me get some facts, because they feel like I ain't dated in years. So come on, perpsychologytoday.com. Over the past 30 years, the trend has severely changed. Women are more educated. And because they spend so much time in school, they tend to seek partners who are also educated. But this what got me. Per powermoves.com, the better a woman does in life, the fewer eligible men she will find. The dating pool shrinks. For many men, looks trump success. Let me say it again. For many men, looks trump success. They feel as if a career woman is not feminine enough. Now, we can go many places with that right there, but this is the fact. We see this every day. And from a survey of over 1,000 women, 48% want more romantic men. Only 26% believe in true love, and 93% prefer to still be asked out. Now, when we talk about being asked out, I know this is going to open a box for everybody to kind of chime in. Back when I was dating, chivalry was still like, you pick me up, like you come to my house to pick me up, but it's 2023. You meet people, on dating sites and all kind of stuff. Do you really want them
Right.
to come to your house,
Yeah,
or do
that's a
you
good
meet
point.
them until you're ready for or know more about them? So everything has changed since I got married in 2010. But I will say that there's still a standard that you have to have. Can anybody else can relate with that?
Yeah, I think for me personally, like, it's a feeling. Like, if I feel comfortable with you, then I'll be like, okay, like, you can pick me up, but that's after maybe a couple of dates, or you know what I'm saying? It's too many Jeffrey Dahmers out here, and I ain't trying to be on somebody's milk box. But I'm just saying, because you hear so many horror stories.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And so you really have to make sure
Right.
that, okay, like, am I feeling the right thing, or like, I don't know, like, he seemed grimy, but also like I share my location.
See, that's a good
Like, other people have my location.
There you go.
Like, I'll take a picture of the license plate, and I'm just saying, you gotta,
you might want to get a piece of hair,
Hey.
or something.
Right.
You know what? Send it in, keep it in there.
Right.
I mean, even in 2023, I know back then we didn't do dating sites. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But now you have all kind of options. You got eHarmony,
Mm-hmm.
you got Zeus. I guess I'm saying that right. You got Our Time, and I even heard that Facebook is a dating site as well. So I don't know what y'all be doing on there because
But I'm gonna tell you about the Facebook dating. And then
okay, help me.
With the Facebook dating, like, you'll have your profile, and then like somebody else's profile will pop up, but it will also have who you're friends with, that they're friends with as well. So I can be like, hey, Queese, what's up with Robert? And you be like, oh, like, that's my husband. I'd be like, okay, well, I don't want to, but no, I'm sure. But I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
But you, so that's one way you can kind of be like, hey, let me see if this guy's legit.
Checks and balances.
And kind of vet the person or whatever like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think Our Time is more for age 50 and older, just in case somebody want to buy a subscription. Our Time is for age 50 and older. They say they got video chat available, and it's $17.96 per month. Then Zeus is like $9. This is the cheapest one, $9.99
Ain't no
a
telling what
month.
you gonna get on that one.
It says safety and security
Lies.
is the top rated feature. No video chat though, so you won't know who you. That's the point.
Catfish.
And then eHarmony is the #1 trusted site for singles. Per one review says eHarmony is where I met my wife 8 years ago. We're still together. We have 3 children. So that package is 12 months, $35.90. So
It's a really extensive process. Like,
Really?
it's like 100 questions. Yeah.
Really?
It's like
eHarmony vet you.
Yeah.
Like they vet you.
they ask you so many questions.
Really?
Yeah. It's almost like, those tests you take when you're in employment, and they'll ask you one question, then based on your answer, they'll ask you another question. Yeah. So they are personality assessments. So that's why it's so in depth. And that's probably why it's so successful as well.
Well, y'all know as you can see, we're gonna delve deeper into this conversation back in a second. As you guys know, we have been talking about successful women dating, and I just want to know, like, I can think of a couple of things that has made it hard for me. One of them is my age. I'm in a different age bracket. So what used to matter to me doesn't matter to me anymore, and what matters to me now didn't used to matter to me. I don't know if that's the right word. So Pauletta, like, what has been the hardest thing? Because I consider you successful. You educated.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got your own stuff. You're not broke, right?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, you're successful. You're confident in who you are. It doesn't mean you don't have no insecurities, because I think we all have some kind of insecurities.
Degree. Yeah.
So knowing who you are, like what Juna was saying, I don't think she mean you totally absent of insecurities, but being comfortable in the space and place that you in.
You don't lead with them.
You don't lead. Come on, that's. Come on, Juna.
Don't lead with them.
Yeah, you don't lead with them. So, Pauletta, what's been the hardest thing?
I think the hardest thing has just been trying to meet someone that I think matches me. and all the complexities of me, like the hood rat part of me, the ghetto, the ratchet, the anointed part of me, the funny part of me, the little girl in me, and so I can meet somebody that can address 3 of them, but not all of them. You know what I'm saying? So like I may meet someone that falls in love with the anointed Pauletta, but doesn't understand why I may want to go to the Handsome Brute and just not drink, but just sit at the bar and laugh at people. You know what I'm saying? And so I need someone that can handle all complexities of me. And so that's been the hardest thing. And then, now that I'm traveling more, finding people that have gone beyond Pomona Beach. You know what I'm saying? Destin. And I'm just saying though, cause like, I lead, cause first of all, I brag different. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I brag.
Atlanta. I'm in the ATL. Like, baby, don't say that no more.
Like you cutting up cause you went to Alabama Adventure. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. So like they ask like, do you travel? Yeah, like I've been to Egypt, and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay. And so automatic, but what they don't understand is that, okay, I've been to Egypt, but I split verbs. You know what I'm saying? I'm regular. Yeah. I'm in a doctoral program, but I'm gonna say ain't on a regular basis. So that's not who I am. It's just one component of me. So it's hard.
Do you want that person to be able to flow with like they can do the ain't?
Yes,
but then they can also use literally and intellectually.
Yeah,
Is that what you want?
That's
or
all,
could it be a reformed quote unquote thug who has given his life to God, and maybe he do split some subjects and some verbs, but he loved God for real. He
and got some
man.
jail tats.
He can hold his stuff down. Like, I mean, is that acceptable?
Yes.
He may not be educated.
Yes.
But he a real man. He love God. He love you. He support you. He support who you are, what you do. He might not have the same calling, but he don't have no problem with you fully walking in. I mean, like,
But one thing I was just, June and I were talking about earlier, I was saying that I want him to have a love for ministry, because there are going to be some times when, like, I may have to get up at 9 o'clock. Like this morning, like I was up at 8 o'clock this morning going to church to prepare. I want him to be able to understand, well, you know what? I got you. I understand you got to do that. But he'll also know that, like, I'm coming home, though.
Come on.
That I'm going to learn how to balance, but that definitely ministry is my heart. And so if he understands that, then I know that it doesn't mean that he has to be a bishop or a pastor. You could be on usher board number 1 and love ministry. I mean, I'm just saying though.
Absolutely.
So I would think that this finding someone that matches all the complexities of me, that has been the hardest thing in dating.
You know what, Pauletta, on what you're saying right there, I was thinking that one of the things that really attracted me to my husband, whom I love dearly,
shameless plug.
was that shameless plug. You hear
What's
me?
his
Because I
barbershop?
ain't shame at all. But he loved me when I didn't have the mic, and most people that I dated before then were already in ministry, so they kind of wanted me to do sermonic selections and sing before they preach, or they were musicians, but he was not into that. Like, he met me not at church, and church was pretty much all. So I do think that that's important that but the good thing is that he did love the Lord. I was grateful for that because I knew who his folks was, but I still like that edge a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was the good girl, I enjoyed the edge. I enjoyed that he liked me, like he looked at me for my body. You know what I'm saying? That too, like that was important too. It wasn't just, he'll have to tell his own story, but he talk about how the Lord sobered him the day he met me. It had to be the anointing because I was not looking, but I will say that it was just the fact that I wasn't up singing. You weren't enamored by my gift. Like, you're not impressed by what I do. Like, you enjoy me singing, but that's not the main reason. So I just want to
and that's really good, Queese, because I can say for me, I purposefully intentionally didn't date men in the church for that very reason. I didn't want to deal with nobody that was in the church because of my visibility in ministry. And so I didn't want to do that. I didn't want nobody that was, because what I'm not finna do is be this at home. I'm not finna do that.
Come on.
You know, I'm not, this glory, because when that thing fall out,
When it fall.
you better look
When
out.
it lift.
You know, because she could be something else. You might not want to deal with her. So, you know, I purposefully, you know, dated out. Now, I'm not right or wrong, you know, but I intentionally dated men who were unchurched for that very reason. Because I do understand that, and I understand how frustrating that can be when people do not, when men in particular, who you could very well be interested in, and you find out that they're only interested in you because of what you have, or what you possess, or what you're called, and also the anointing is attractive.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's like an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times people are attracted to an anointing that they can't handle.
Yeah.
Like you attracted. A lot of times people are attracted to an anointing that they can't handle.
Yeah.
You attracted is the anointing that's drawing you.
Yeah.
But you really can't handle it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't cover it properly. You know what I mean? You can't carry it properly.
Right.
So, you know, if you're going to be attracted to it, you got to be able to carry it and cover it.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
be okay when it live.
Right.
And be okay. Because at
And
the end of the
understand that
day,
it does live.
I'm Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I'm Lynn. So, Juna, like, has there ever been like a hard experience though? Like with dating, like, say for instance, like it was somebody that you liked them, but you knew that God had said no. Like, not how many.
Oh.
Just find a good one. Can you just find
Every last one of them. But I would say,
You don't think you miss God with one of them?
no,
You don't?
no,
Not one.
not nary a one.
Wow.
I don't think I miss God with one. I don't. Okay, so I would say the hardest thing for me has been putting myself in positions where I'm in long-term relationships that lead to nowhere. And getting out of those long-term relationships and trying to go on a date to try to get rid of whatever I'm feeling, the residue of that ex relationship. And so in that transition period, that's where the hard part is for me. And I have to learn, I was talking to Pauletta, I have to learn, I don't know how to live in the moment because of what I do professionally. It's planning, it's strategic, I'm project managing, and so I need to know what's happening, when it's happening, who's responsible for what, how this is supposed to go down. And unfortunately, that kind of transfers over into my dating life. And so I'm not going on a date just to be going. Yeah. And sometimes I need to do that in order to, you know, release and relinquish this. Pauletta said I got control issues. So relinquish these
like you
control.
You ever see that? You ever?
I mean, really, I have no other choice because the evidence says that it is, you know, control issues, because I want to know, okay, so I need to know what your intentions are, even though it could be the first date. And I know that's not healthy. I know it's not. Don't get me wrong. I know it is not healthy.
Because they be
okay?
like, Julie, you can't be. Okay, I get it.
So I don't want to. But because I've only dated to be in a relationship. I've never dated just
to
date.
casually date.
I've never done that. And so that's where the hard part is. And so having what I do in career kind of muddy the waters over here. I ain't supposed to be that in the relationship, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah. And trying not to do that is killing the sister, you know? Yeah. And so I would say would be the hardest thing. That not going into being okay with the process of just getting to know somebody instead of trying to control everything, instead of trying to figure out where this is going, where this is leading, what are your intentions, how long, you know.
Just relax.
Yeah, just relax.
Be in the
and
moment.
Just be, yeah. Next question, child, cause
Well, you know, my experience is a little different. because I've been married, you know what I'm saying, and now a widow, and so it's starting over again for me. And you know, I'm young enough to get married again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to heaven without tasting of the sweet
Of the vine.
Yeah, of the vine. Or, or
eh.
exchanging some sweet. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. So you know, I'm not going to meet Jesus like this right here. Hey, hallelujah. So I know that I'll get married again, but it's scary, and I hate to use the word scary, but that's just lack of a better word that I could think of. It's like I have went from terrified, because I was terrified, to just a little scary now, because it's like of the unknown, and then I'm at a different place in my life. You know, dating me before I was doing what I was doing now was easier, but like, who about to fit this? You know what I'm saying? And who is finna realize that I don't want to talk about Jesus all the time? Who finna realize that I'm a person, that I like to laugh, I like to travel, I like to have fun, I like to try new restaurants. Like, I want you to love. Loving God is a no-brainer. Right. It is not. I'm not taking that off the table. That has to be, because you cannot properly love me without loving God.
That's good.
That's cool. But I need you to not be a stiff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need you to be funny. I mean, not trying to be funny. I just need you to be naturally funny, because I'm so aggravated by when people hear me say, oh, I want somebody funny, then because you like me, you try to be funny.
And you get to cut
and
the
it's
jig.
not funny.
You trying to cut a jig.
And it's irritating.
Oh, God.
Because I'm tired of going.
Hate that.
I'm tired of that. Yeah. You know, if you're funny, you're funny.
Right.
You know, and it's just a natural thing, you know. So it's just like, that's where I am. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm ready, because I feel like there's some doors and things and places that I need to close. Now, do I, my flesh? Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. But let me the whole of me, I know I'm not.
Yeah.
And I've seen how this time has allowed me to mature, to really sift through some things, to learn myself better, to even open myself up to something different. Because I had to even come to the good that it's not going to be another Sean. And guess what? It probably don't need to be.
It don't need to be.
Yeah. It probably don't need to be, because the grace that was on him took me to where I arrived to. And now another grace has to come and take me somewhere else. And I don't want that people to ever to take that as I am dishonoring him. Never. Oh no, I couldn't be where I am if it wasn't for him. Right. Period. But I understand that the grace on his life took me to the length that it could take me. Yes. And so I understand that I obviously need something different for the next season, you know, and being open to that. Ooh, right?
That's good.
So y'all know we got to go deeper back into this. Successful women dating. We'll be back.
All right, so let me tell y'all. I was dating this guy. Well, first of all, I was dating him because, like, all of my close friends had a boyfriend. And I was the only one that didn't have a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I mean, we do that. Sometimes you just be like, you know what? I'm just going to go along. I went into the relationship knowing this has a definite end. Yeah. And sooner than later. So, and he was a large guy. It's that wheezing. But he was a large guy, and
what you mean large?
He was large. Like, it maybe like he took up maybe this whole, from here to about here. Yeah, he was big.
He wasn't that big.
He from like this square to this right here. And so, but he was real rotund right here. And so, rotund. And so, I went over his house. This is like in the beginning. So, you know, I went to his house, whatever. And he was getting dressed because we are going to go to breakfast or whatever like that. And so where he was getting dressed, like he had the door open and like I can see straight into his room. You know what I'm saying? So I was, looking because, I'm nosy. So he was sitting on the edge of his bed and he put his sneakers on first. And so I was just like, okay.
So drawers and sneakers.
He had on his boxes and some sneakers.
Okay.
So glad he had no tighty whities on. So he put his sneakers on and his boxes. And you okay? And so he put on his boxes and his sneakers, and then he put his pants on. And
You
so
watched this?
I saw this.
You saw the whole thing.
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, do you say something or do you not? Because I was automatically turned, like, I was just like, this is just, Pauletta, please. Come on. You gotta do better, just for the sake. So I went on a quadruple date. You know what I'm saying? Stay home, Pauletta. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. So we sitting down eating, and I'm like, hey, let me ask you a question. So earlier, I saw you put your sneakers on and your boxers on, and then you put your jeans on. And I was like, why? Like, why are you in that order? And he said, get this, because my stomach's too big. And so I know. Oh, and then part of me was just like, oh God, Pauletta. So because he's so big, he can't tie his shoes with his jeans on. So he has to tie his shoes with just his boxers on, then he can put his jeans on. But no, I'm gonna tell you when you need to cry, because I went out with him again. That's why you need to cry. And you know why? It was for the sake of just saying that I had somebody.
Wow. Well, Pauletta, now wait now. Cause see, just because.
No, Julia, you ain't gonna fix this up. No, I ain't gonna let you know. You ain't gonna guilt me into this. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I kind of.
What you about to say? I mean, like,
Because I want you to make this
how
make
you
sense.
finna make this enlightenment? Show me.
I want you to math this. Go ahead, math it.
Wait, I just want to understand, what did that have to do with the kind of person he was?
Nothing.
Or is?
Nothing. I'm not gonna date somebody that cannot put on their clothes in the regular order.
Who said? Okay.
What do you mean? Who said? You don't.
Who established the order?
Who established the order?
Great question.
Listen.
So you telling me?
You may be,
No,
he
so
may be
society.
allergic to nickel. You know, he may be allergic to the nickel
You-
that you. I mean, never mind.
And
I
the
tried.
Lord made us all different.
society, Pauletta? No.
You telling me you'd be okay with dating somebody that put their sneakers on first and their boxers and then their pants? You'd be okay with that? Come on, Juna, no.
I don't know. I've never experienced that before. What I will say is,
Juna.
is if he's this fantastic man and checks all of my boxes, and he, just has his own way of putting on his clothes, as long as when he get them on, he fly, then I'm
You'll just only let him get dressed around you.
Okay.
No, and you know what? And I can't wait. And I don't know if I can say this, but I can't wait till we talk Monday, because we're talking Monday about our list. There got to be some deal breakers. That was a deal breaker.
Okay.
But did you know that was a deal
That's
breaker?
hard.
No.
It didn't become
I
a
think
deal
you don't
breaker
know.
until you saw it.
Right, and I think that's how you discover deal. You discover deal breakers when you be like, ooh, that's a deal breaker. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like nappy chest hair is a deal breaker for me.
Well, you know that going in though.
That I know. But I didn't know going in there he put his sneakers on and his boxers and then his jeans. I didn't know that. Had I known that, I probably still would have dated him just because to say I got somebody.
Okay.
But then at some point, God was like, pull that up. Come on.
That only
When he-
lasts about 2 minutes. You can just turn your head while you
No.
do that.
That's what I'm saying, Queez. I'm not gentle.
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Give me somebody that put their shoes on first and good to me. Okay.
Okay. God, right now I ask that we come head bowed and body bent.
Head out, body big.
Do it for Juna.
I know that you like, I'm not saying like you a different background, but it is, your upbringing was a little different. And I know you said you were sheltered. So, I know when you say you were sheltered, there was a certain standard you had when it came to dating. Like,
Yes.
how? Because I know, I don't care how much of the Lord you know, your
still got
body
desires.
will respond.
Yes, Lord.
Amen.
You'll have a
Amen.
rising.
How was it like being an adult,
Right.
upholding that standard in dating?
First,
Not just that standard, but just upholding standards.
standards, period. First of all, it goes back to what you all were saying earlier, knowing who you are, knowing your weaknesses, knowing, what doesn't work for you. Because I did know, even though I was sheltered, that I still had flutters when I was around people. So I was not going to put myself in any positions that will allow me to go where
To flutter.
Flutter even more.
Even more.
When I say, and then also, like, if you were on the phone with me, like this was back then, like, and I was dating, talking, if I've already, because you have to be clear. That's another thing, like, be clear. Don't play games. Don't go in acting and giving them a little something and making them feel like, oh, you gonna leave me like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be honest. I believe in that, but I remember several times that if a guy talked on the phone outside of what I've already made clear, that was a turnoff for me, that you gonna get the dial tone. Why? Because that's not what I'm going after. So you have to be clear, and I believe this, that if it's the right guy, they will honor your desires. Like, even sometimes if it seems like a bit much, again, I say we're in 2023, so things are different, but I still say, if that's what you want, go after what you desire. I believe all of us have been too successful, gone through too much, survived through too much to kind of not allow or not go after exactly what we want. So I say, have that standard, have accountability, have someone you can talk to that can help you through those weak moments, because they will come. They will come. But again, I say, be clear, know who you are, know what you want. Don't put yourself in compromising positions if you know that that's a weakness for you. Go to lit place, well-lit areas, go to public places. You know what I'm saying? If music stimulates you, then, you might want to listen to that music in a room with several other people rather than just being you two. But I do believe that the right person will be willing to make those adjustments. I know mine did, and I was very, very strict. So but that was based on where I was. But if that's what you want, go after it.
Give us hope. Give us hope, Queez. Give us hope.
I'm serious. You deserve that. You can't be successful and work hard and all that stuff, and then have somebody come in that take away from what you've built. That's what I tell my sister all the time. You've built too much of an empire to let somebody come subtract from it. You're right. I wasn't where she was, where she is. Where at her age, I was nowhere near where she is. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, no, somebody got to add to that. You've overcome too much. Not only are you a survivor, you are a conqueror. You are overcome. So, babe, no, don't just take anything. Like, you deserve the best. And I know sometimes people be like, but you got what I want. No relationship is perfect. Everything requires work. So I don't want nobody to ever think they're going to get into something that's just going to be no work. Just ease and roses and just flying through the air and a white picket fence, all that stuff. No, it's going to take work. But even in that, you still have a right to make your desires clear and talk to God. Be specific with God, because he'll even allow that person. Like I said, my meeting my husband was divine. I had been around these people all my life. My mom did his mom's hair. I went to school with his sister, and I didn't even know he exists, and I was just getting ready for college graduation, and I'm in a beauty supply store getting color for my hair, and I run into this person, and because whatever he was captivated by, he had his mama call. My mom was like, why she ain't speak to me? Why she ain't say nothing to me? And I'm like, because I didn't.
But you thought he was cute though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I thought about that smile, those teeth, and everybody said Gerald Levert, but hey, he looked better than Gerald Levert in my opinion. But I was just so excited. No, at that time I was nonchalant. I really was, and I ran from it. He found me on. Everybody know what MySpace is. He found me on MySpace, and man, we started messaging back and forth, and I still held my standards. And the last thing he asked me is, how you gonna celebrate graduation? And I said, sleeping and praising the Lord. He said, no, for real. Like, how you gonna? And that was me keeping my standard, because he was like, I just knew you was gonna say partying. No, that wasn't what I was gonna do. We had a celebration in the church. We sung.
Lord have mercy.
Y'all was head bowed and body bent.
But when I say he met me where I was, he would come come to my church and surprise me in the audience, that would make me that made me excited. Walking out the pastor's office and he'd be sitting there and he'd tell me he was coming. So those small things, it was just how we grew in love with each other. So just make it clear. Be clear. You deserve. Pauletta, you gonna make it clear.
Thank you.
Do y'all think
Tired of
when you
fluttering.
are a successful woman dating, and you know, according to what the statistics of what Queesa gave about, like, you know, the more educated you become. You know, my son was telling me that statistically, black women are the most educated group of people in the world, in this country, in the world right now. Okay, and that blew me away. You know, he was telling me that. So where you are, you own your own home, you got a good job, you're educated, you're not struggling, you're doing well. Is it possible to meet somebody that checks every single box at this age? Because let's be realistic. Now you're in your 40s. You know, latter 40s for me. Pauletta, early 50s. Okay. Is that really possible? And I don't want to talk faithless. I'm just being real.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Is that really possible?
I don't think it is. Not to check. I don't think at any age, at any level of success, at any area in life, that every single solitary box that we have gets checked by that particular individual, because nobody is going to meet that standard. Nobody can meet that standard, and all of those qualities or whatever it is that's on your list is not going to be contained in one person. What I do believe, however, is that those things that are most important to you, those things that you hold in high regard, that's what you're looking for. That's what we're looking for, the boxes to be checked. The stuff, I think a lot of the stuff on our list are not deal breakers, but the things that matter most are our deal breakers. They have to have this, they have to have that, and they have to have this. And I don't think that it's fair. I think it's an unrealistic expectation to have for you to want somebody to meet every single solitary standard on your list, because think about it. The person that checks all your boxes, who says you checking all theirs?
That's good, Juna.
Who? How you know you're checking all their boxes?
So good.
And so, I do believe, with all sincerity that there is, that there are people, there is someone out there who will check what's most important and the stuff that matters most to you, that your need items.
That's so good.
That's good.
So how are we going to continue this? How are we going to continue this conversation?
So just think about the question of the week. So I have two questions, but I think I'm going to go with the one that's going to going to require us to ponder a little bit more. So let's go with this one. It's, what truth have I been unwilling to accept about myself, and what role has that truth played in my dating history?
Ooh, shoot.
That's heavy right there.
What
Listen.
truth have I been unwilling to accept about myself, and what role has that truth played in my dating history?
That's heavy. That's heavy. Listen, you'll be able to continue this dialogue with us on our social media pages. You can follow us on Instagram at Her Lounge Podcast. You can catch us on YouTube and Facebook at the Her Lounge Podcast. So I am looking forward to seeing what you guys have to talk about. What's wrong with you? Right. That's really what the question is. Have you figured out what's wrong with you? Right. Catch us on all of our social media platforms where we're going to talk about what's wrong with you. Right. And we'll see you next week in the lounge.